All right, my name is Rich Schmidt. I'm here with Akiko Shiba. It's May 11th, 2021. We're at Medici Vineyards in Newburgh. Akiko, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate this.
Thank you for coming.
First question for you, biggest question is why wine?
Yeah, why wine? Yeah, making wine here in the Willamette Valley was not my plan. Yeah, I'm Japanese and I'm grew up in Tokyo. And I liked and eating and drinking. And my family they drink the alcohol beverage, but many Japanese people cannot drink alcohol or they cannot enjoy because they don't have enzymes to break down the alcohol. But fortunately my family, especially my dad, his family and me, we have the both two enzymes. And at the dinner table, my parents, I think they're drunk almost every time, but not only the wine. They drank the wine. I remember, that was like white wine, probably German Riesling or something like that. This is good with Japanese meal. And also they drank the beer and sake, or they are pretty open, And in Japan, of course, our national alcohol beverage is sake, but more old people drink sake, and other, younger generation drink beer or some, it's like mixture, and also wine. Now wine is pretty common in Japan. But anyway, I also started to drink as teenager, and I was not just drinking the wine. Wine was only one thing, and I liked, beer and sake, and also my favorite is Chinese rice wine, and also Korean makgeolli. I love, it depends what I eat. I choose what I drink. And when I was a college student, I worked at the beer bar in Tokyo. Actually, I met my husband, Chris, there. Chris is also my business partner, And that beer bar offered about 100 different kinds of beer from all over the world. That was pretty amazing at the time. Craft beer movement was not yet happened in Japan, and mostly Japanese beer was like German style Pilsner, and sometimes you could find black lager, but mainly it's like yellow color Pilsner lager. But at the bar you could drink European beer, or also from Caribbean or Asian countries. And I liked more ale. This is like, on the surface fermented beer, not on the bottom. And my favorite was, I think, Belgian Trappist beer. And when I was still college student, Chris, he went back to the United States. Actually, he was living about 2 years in Tokyo because his dad had the position or the working in Tokyo, and he was like as an exchange student. He went to the college in Tokyo, but he continued to study, for his master and doctor degree. He went back to United States in Colorado. And also I visited him in Colorado when I was still a college student. And I think craft beer movement was already started in Colorado. And he took me to the brew pub, for example, in Boulder, in Colorado, or to the small, bar in the desert. And in summertime, it was so dry in Colorado, and beer was so tasty. And I really, such a beer is so great. And also I went to the bookshop in United States and purchased some beer encyclopedia or something like that, and which explained about beer style, what is a stout or what is the IPA or something like that. And also there was a
You good?
Famous beer journalist.
Go ahead, keep going, you're good.
His name is Michael Jackson. Actually, same as the famous musician, but he's a British guy, and he called himself beer hunter. He was like Hugh Johnson in beer world, and I was just, he's so cool. And I just took his book. And after the college in Tokyo, I tried to work at the publisher, but I couldn't find the position. It was so hard to get the position, And I still continue to work at the bar, And I was so lucky. One guy, old guy, he was our good customer at the beer bar, and he's one of the very famous editor in Japan. He founded a few very famous cooking book or the magazine, and that magazine is still there. I think everyone, maybe housewife. So if also he made also for the guides, the not only the woman, and very famous books are still there. And anyway, he was planning to create a new magazine, and he needed a staff for him. And he asked me to help him. And of course, I had nothing to do. And I started to work for him. That was a monthly cooking magazine. And every issue had the topic, like curry, for example, or stew, or cheese, or Italian, or something like that. And we picked the best restaurant who or that cook that meal, those issues, pretty good. And we introduced a recipe for that meal. That was main page, with picture. We introduced the recipe. And also there was other pages about restaurant information. I was like assistant position, not the main editor, and my task was mostly to interview the restaurant and write the article about restaurant and also food. This was I was so lucky, and at the time I really enjoyed the food and so good. My mom, she cooked pretty good, everything from the scratch, and never gave us frozen food or instant food. But the good food from the restaurant is different, you know. It's so good, and I really enjoy. And also, I think my taste was trained at the time. And sometimes the magazine had the topic about beer or wine or sake, you know. And my task was go to the wine shop and interview or wine bar. And I noticed I was more motivated, you know. And maybe I really like to do something, you know, for alcohol beverage. And then I think at the time I started to think I should learn or more specialized about alcohol beverage, not the cooking or food, but how, I don't know. Maybe like Michael Jackson, the beer hunter, but I don't know. And my husband, Chris, well, at the time he was my boyfriend. He finished his school in the United States, in Colorado, and he got a position in Germany. And, Germany? Okay, maybe I could do something in Germany. And German beer is pretty famous in Japan, and I was more interested in beer at the time. And I joined, you know, his life, and I moved to Germany. That was Düsseldorf is a name for the city. Yeah, actually beer region, not wine region. And my plan was go to the beer university or some beer school, but no idea. Yeah, because I tried to, you know, get the correct information about the college or university about beer, but first page on the website, German university at the time had the English page, general information. I tried to, you know, get more detail and then switch to the German. And I couldn't understand, you know, but okay, anyway, I go there. And the first 8 months in Düsseldorf, I went to the language school because I had no knowledge or no experience with German language. You know, Monday through Friday, every day. Yeah, this was so hard. It's you know, foreign language is always hard for me, but especially the German, you know, der, die, das. Yeah, each word has like neutral or feminine or yeah, you have to learn all of them. Yeah. Anyway, 8 months went to the school, and I got a good friend from Peru. Her husband at the time, at the fiance, she was just came to the Germany and went to the school like me, and her husband owned a winery in Rheinhessen, and I went to, you know, their house very often, and we drank together and ate together, and he let me try his wine. That was Riesling, of course, but I don't know which one. This is, of course, his winery's wine. He owned a big company, and winery business was like next, you know, not the main business. That's why they lived in Düsseldorf, not in Rheinhessen. But anyway, the wine, I think probably that was Riesling Auslese, the gold color, and so good. And he also told me, you can also learn wine in Germany and go to school. He gave me the information about good school. And, you know, maybe studying wine is more interesting because German beer is already famous, or everyone knows the German beer, but not German wine. At the time, I was still thinking I go back to Japan and I will, would become like a journalist. But maybe German wine journalist or something like that. This is a good idea. And also, I found two schools, very famous school for beer. One is in Berlin, and another one is in Bayern, close to the München. Yeah, the both are good school, but pretty far from Düsseldorf. And the wine school, Geisenheim, that school is located in Rheingau. This is like 20 or 25 minutes from Frankfurt, but with autobahn, Yeah, and this is about, I think, 2 or 3 hours from Düsseldorf. Maybe it's not so far, and also wine sounds more interesting. Yeah, and then I change, but was not easy before I started the study. I had to pass the language test, of course, and also at least 6 months I needed to work as an intern, or I needed experience. Yeah, that. Otherwise, you could not enter start the study. Yeah, and I continued to learn German language, and also I started to work at the winery. The first internship was the winery that my friend, her husband owned that winery, in Linfield. And this was, I couldn't understand what the cellar master said to me. For example, close the tank. He said, but I opened because I couldn't understand. And a few years, German people just looked always angry for me. I think this is opposite to American people. American people are so friendly at the beginning too. Yeah, this is also unusual for me. But anyway, so hard. Yeah, but anyway, I passed the exam at the second time. First time I failed. It was so stressed because you may take only 2 times the exam. If you didn't pass second, that's it. There's no chance to study in German. But anyway, I passed at the second time and finally, and also I finished my intern. Yeah. I think totally 10 months I worked. Yeah. First one in Rheinhessen, second one in the Nahe. Yeah. And finally, I started my study. That was, I think, 2003, September. And I passed the language test, but still, I couldn't understand almost nothing, anything. Especially for the first semester, half year. And I couldn't understand each word that professor say, and also I couldn't understand what is this lecture, why I'm here, what I'm learning, and what is that, anyway. But fortunately, I had a good roommate. Yeah, he helped a lot, and we learned together. And also, he had a lot of friends, and always he invited a friend. And our apartment, always we had a party or the friend, and we cooked together. And I was so lucky, I think. Yeah. And then, with his help, I think I survived. Yeah, actually, yeah, I'm serious. Two Japanese guy, I thought they drop off, yeah. They couldn't finish the study. Yeah, I was so lucky. Just, I had a good contact and yeah. But still, I was thinking I will do something like journalist, not production. But the school was for producer, and the viticulture, and so for example, pest in the vineyard. Why I have to learn about insect, or is this really I really need that? I was always I was not sure. Yeah, if I'm doing right things, and I was not interested in making wine. But I think last 2 years totally I took 5.5 years to finish my study. And last 2 years, I was changing. For example, there was a special semester, practical semester. Yeah, for one semester, you don't go to the school. You just work at the winery, and you need to do some project at the winery, and then you write the report. And I did that for 2 semesters, because I needed work more, more experience. And every day, just working in the vineyard. And at the time, I didn't like that, Working in the vineyard is basic in Germany. That means still I'm working in the vineyard. I need to go to the cellar. I need to learn more about cellar, but I have to work in the vineyard, and I always try to, ask my supervisor, maybe do you need help, I'm interested in working cellar, and I try to more work in the cellar. But now, when I think now, I was so lucky. Entire year, for a year, every day I was working in the vineyard. Because here in the Oregon, it's not easy, to get the experience. Yeah, I was so lucky. Now I can say that. And also the location, the winery's location was great. It was in Baden. Baden is pretty south and west, and hottest wine region in Germany. And Riesling is too hot. Oh no, not Riesling is hot. The weather is too hot for the Riesling. And also I got a small Volkswagen car, and that was located like border to the France, Alsace, and also to Switzerland. And when I have time, just take the car and go to the Alsace, for example. At the time already euro. Yeah, if you have euro, you can just buy everything in France, but not in the Switzerland. And if I need fish or coffee beans or maybe cedar, or cheese, I went to the France. But if I need gas was also pretty cheaper in France, because in Germany, the special tax for the environment. This is actually good. But anyway, and also the winery where I worked was more concentrated or focused on Pinot Noir and Pinot Blanc and Pinot Gris, because it's too hot. Not only the winery, entire the region. And I think at the time I really enjoy working at the winery, and also more interested in the production. And also, after like 5 years, I could speak better German, and I just enjoying the life in Germany, and also I could fight, against my colleague, German colleague. Yeah, finally, yeah. And also, then I finished the practical semester and went back to Rheingau because finally I needed to finish my thesis. Yeah, but not needed go to the lecture. Yeah, and also I started work at the winery in Rheingau. And in Rheingau, Riesling is, of course, the most popular variety, but there is one small town, Assmanshausen. In Assmanshausen, there was only Pinot Noir, somehow, but I think, I'm not 100% sure, but in the past, French monk came with the plant probably, and then planted Pinot Noir there. That's why, yeah, entire here only Pinot Noir, and yeah, I had also the experience working in that vineyard, and yeah, I finished my school, and my husband Chris already left the Germany and started a new life in Richmond, Virginia, and I went to there and we got married, and I tried to work in Virginia. Virginia is actually the number 6 wine region in the United States, and I visited many wineries there and tried the wine, but the wine was not my taste. And I couldn't stay there, and I didn't think my future there. Which kind of wine should I make there? And I cannot. No, and I just asked my husband, yeah, we need to move. I cannot stand it here. And, okay, Chris said, I need just telephone and airport and internet. Okay, good, but to where? But he also told me, not California, it's too expensive. No, okay, Washington or Oregon, which one? And no idea. He comes from East Coast, never been to Oregon, and me too. And we didn't have friend or family in Oregon. Nothing, no information, just I know what I knew, lot of rain. Yeah. And also, I knew the Pinot was there because in Germany at the school there was special lecture, international wine bar, that means international viticulture or winemaking. I learned a lot of the different countries wine, and the professor told me there was good quality Pinot in Oregon, and I knew that. And okay, Pinot is there. No, I could maybe work there because I had experience, and maybe Riesling. The map seems like the north of California. Maybe it's cool. No, there is probably good Riesling too. But anyway, yeah, we go there, and 2009 August. Yeah, we moved to here, and I finished my school in Germany. That's what 2009 February. Yeah. And yeah, that was a long story, sorry, but yeah.
No, that's good. That's why we're here.
I'm here. Yeah.
Well, what was your initial impression of Oregon, both the state and the wine here?
At first, vineyard was like spot. It's not connected. My image about the wine region is just vineyard on the hill, But here, sometimes you cannot see because there's a gate and you need to drive, and now finally you can see the vineyards. That's what's, different. And also, wineries, it's so clean and new and very dry. I mean, no malt or not wet and so clean. And also there was, winery has hot water. That was also pretty amazing. And the big difference is the people work separately in the vineyard, also at the winery, in the cellar. That's what's big different. Yeah.
So when you moved here, what was your thought? Did you plan to start working in wine immediately? Were you thinking vineyard? Were you thinking winery? What was kind of your initial thought?
Before we moved to the Oregon, I started to research about the industry here, and I just sent my resume through the email. When I found, website, I don't know the quality or because I couldn't try, and just I think almost all winery that I found, I sent email, but I got answer only several, and also only 2 winery offered me for the harvest position, and pretty famous winery, these 2. And I looked for the wine at the wine shop in Richmond, and I found, fortunately, and I tried both, and I chose the better one for my taste. Both are good winery, but just I like this wine better than this. That's why I work for this. And just I started the harvest intern.
So where was that first internship?
Was Saint Innocent.
Okay. Excellent. What was your experience like there?
The famous winemaker Mark Brozak. He was, so emotional. And, and I got a good colleague. And it was fun. Also, the Mark, he loved eating. We had the harvest chef and nice wine, and I enjoyed.
How did the work you were doing as an intern compare to the work you'd done elsewhere as an intern? Was it similar work?
You mean in Germany?
Yeah.
Working during the harvest in Germany is, I think, most difficult or hardest because they have the white and red. You go to the vineyard to pick grapes. Normally the staff pick the grapes, not the crew. And you go to the vineyard in the morning and pick. And then in the evening, you start to press the white, for example, or control the tanks. And just hot. And next day, early morning, you go to the vineyard and start to pick. But here, I thought, pretty good. Somebody pick for us and bring the grapes to the winery. And I think also the the environment is good for the worker here. It's not too hard, Okay, maybe somebody was against me, but one of good friend, I sent him to the Germany and I introduced good producer, he's American guy. He worked at the winery during the harvest, and after the harvest, I got one postcard or email. Akiko, thank you for introducing me to this great winery. That was most hardest harvest for me. I got a message from him. Not only me. I think everybody. If you work there, you know the difference.
So what were your kind of your main like takeaways or lessons from St. Innocent? What was your first work in Oregon? What did you learn about the Oregon wine industry? What did you learn about what you wanted to do here?
Yeah, I noticed many different things. For example, when I was in Germany at the time, climate change was not so a big problem, and still they are struggling, to get good ripened grapes. But here, that was 2009, what I think pretty hot year, and in Germany, you really be careful no water in your fermenter or in the hose, or because the water dilute your sugar. But here, what? Okay, it's maybe sometimes you could also add water. Oh, unbelievable! Yeah, or something like that. Just different. Yeah.
What did you do next?
And after the harvest is over. Now you lost. You don't have job. Yeah, this is normal. And then, okay, what should I do? And to get a permanent position here is not easy. During the harvest, you easily get an intern position, but if you work as a permanent staff, it's not easy. And I didn't find nothing, but I missed working in the vineyard, and also I didn't want to lose my feeling, and I asked one guy, Tom, he owned a vineyard in Amity Hills, and Tom, I want to help you. It's like volunteer. I don't need to get money. And I helped pruning and continue to keep my feeling. And also I took some class at the Shameketa. My English was not great at the time, and maybe going to Shemeketa is probably more fun than going to the English language class. And I took some, not full program, just a few interesting class I took. And next year, again, harvest, intern. But after that, I could stay there.
Where was that?
That was Domaine Serine. I think large operation. And they need people.
So what was after harvest? What was your role there?
Sell a lot. Of course. That was, Domaine Serine is so beautiful, the facility. Just on the hill. And but for example, one task, you just continue to do one task, maybe for 1 week. There was how many barrels there? I don't remember. But just topping in the cave, dark, after work, you came out, oh, it's raining, or sunshine. But that was good training, for example, driving forklift or more sanitation to make the good, clean, and controlled wine, in Germany it was not so, that was new for me. But this was so unusual for me. Domaine Serine owned a beautiful vineyard, and sometimes lunchtime I go there and look at the condition of the grapes, but I don't work there. That's what strange for me. And I'm feeling something is not my thing. And maybe that's why, or I was laid off there after 2 years or a few years, and that was pretty sudden, suddenly happened, and I was so shocked. But now I know, maybe in the United States at a large company that's happened pretty often, but I was probably too naive at the time, and I didn't feel good after a few months, and also I was not sure what is the next, and the style system of this wine industry here, it's not my style, working hard during the harvest and bottling, but after that, nothing to do. But I had like a lazy time a few months, but I couldn't just continue that. And in 2012, the next harvest, I worked at my most favorite winery for the harvest. That was Wichern in Cellars. I really liked their wine, and also I liked the founder a lot. And I worked there, and I enjoyed more small operation, and they have also estate vineyard. And I think Chris told me, you should start your own wine.
Had you thought of it before?
No, it's like a project. At the school but for the commercial base, no. And I didn't have such idea. I own my, my winery, and to make my own wine, that was not my idea, and just he told me. But slowly, maybe this is not good idea, not bad, good idea. That's a good idea, actually. And also I like working at the smaller operation, not at the large base. And we probably started end of, after the 2012 harvest. We started to prepare for our own label. And 2013 was our first vintage for our winery. But also I worked at Wichern again, because we are planning to receive only 2 tons or 3 tons, not much. That's why I could work for the boss. Was big mistake, by the way. 2013 was very hard.
So as you were getting started, tell me about what you had to think about, what you had to plan for. You obviously had to come up with a name and a place to make wine and a place to get grapes. Tell me about about finding those details as you were getting started.
I was so lucky. I helped pruning for Tom. Tom is Tom Simonetti. He owned the Nuestro Sueño vineyard next to the Carter in the Eora Amity Hills. He built his own facility. 2013 was his first vintage for the winery. He was making his own wine at the St. Innocent Winery, and when I was working there, and we got to know, and I helped pruning, and he offered us if you need a facility for our new vintage or the first year, yeah, you can use. That was so kind, yeah. And yeah, just a so small space, but we are small, you know, and we moved there. And first two vintages, we made our own winery, wine there at the Tom's place. Yeah.
Where did you get grapes?
One is from the Havering vineyard, Jeff Havering. I got to know him at the Shemeketa class. I think just after the big earthquake in Japan, there was class, and he just came to me. He was so huge guy. Do you know him? I think he was the biggest human being that I met. But anyway, he suddenly after the class, you know, he came to me and, how about Japan? Or, you know, he was thinking about our country. Yeah, I very appreciate. Yeah, and working at the Evesham Wood as an intern, Jay Havlin delivered grapes for, I think, Beyonce. Just he got time, and for, you know, volunteer, he just delivered the grapes to the Evesham. And Jeff, yeah, and we talked, yeah. And we got the contact, you know, and I asked him to get the grapes. And there was another one, just I found like winebusiness.com or something like that. Yeah, from the Yamhill. Yeah.
As you were thinking about making your own wine, what kind of wine did you want to make? Were you, in terms of both varietal, but also just in terms of style? What was the kind of wine you wanted to create?
Yeah, we had the original plan was only to make the Pinot, the red wine. Yeah. And which style? Now we have some style, but first year, you know, just try to make okay wine, you know, no mistake, just follow that I learned. Yeah. I have more now the freedom, or, you know, more flexible. Yeah.
Did you have after all the different places you'd worked, were you trying to make your Pinot taste like someone else's? Was there a certain kind of mark you were trying to hit in terms of flavor profile or in terms of style? I'm doing the slight adjustment. Yeah. At first, you know, okay, how long do we leave our wine in the barrel? About 12 months, or, you know, when is the bottling timing, or just generally, you know, there is a general rule here in the industry, and at first I followed that, but slowly I noticed, for example, the other people probably bottled too early, or maybe I need to leave more wine in the barrel or something like that. And yeah, small adjustment, I do. And big different is we try to work as much as possible in the vineyard. Yeah, and also we use the small picking beans, F, Y, P. Yeah. This is, I think, big difference. So as you had wine, as you started to have wine in bottle, tell me about selling it. Tell me about what you did with it once you created it. How did you get it out into the market?
Yeah, that was hard. Yeah, Chris, he has a day job. He still have day job, and he told me, okay, you go to sell our wine. But how? I didn't have the experience to sell something, you know. But he told me, he's a white, middle-aged guy is boring, but you're Asian and female and studied in Germany. It's so unique. Yeah, but hard, you know. But he's right, you know. If I go to there, the people don't forget me. I think this combination, and yeah, no one has this combination. Yeah, but you know, I hate it. Yeah, now too, I hate calling telephone, and just I took our wine and went to the restaurant or wine shop in Portland. That was the beginning, you know. And yeah, just this is so strange, maybe, you know, because I have my own wine and no one think I make my wine. And hey, yeah, do you have time? I have my own winery and today I have wine and could you please try or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
How was the reception? How, did you feel like you were getting better at selling as you did it more?
Yeah. I'm used to now, and I think that the people in Portland, they were so kind. You know, if I noticed, yeah, if they tried our wine and if they liked our wine, they just take. So open. Yeah, and now, you know, slowly the people know us and it's easier now. Yeah.
Have you had the experience to eat at a restaurant where your wine was on the menu? Have you had that experience yet?
If the restaurant has our wine on the list. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Actually, the first vintage, the good restaurant took our wine. That was so, you know, yeah, and yeah. Yeah.
So since you started with the kind of the interest, not just in wine as you mentioned, but in beer and in sake and in other types of things, I'm curious, did your knowledge of beer especially and from your background in journalism, did it come into play when you were making wine? How have you used what you learned as you make wine?
How? Yeah, I think yeah, at the school you can learn how you ferment, or you can read the books, and if you get the good grapes, and you know you are hard worker, maybe you can make good wine. But to make great wine, this is different. I think that means I noticed, you know, in Germany, they have the history and tradition, and at the start point, I was behind. For example, at the school, wine school, 30% of the students were son or daughter of the winery, and they had already licensed winemaker. Yeah, I had zero experience, you know, and how I collect the small like recipe, you know, if your dad or your grandfather worked at the winery, family winery, you know, you could know the small recipe. You have the recipe, but I don't have none. I try to collect as much as possible. It's like steal, you know. And also, I always ask if I find so good wine. Now I ask the producer how. Yeah, and also if I find a bad wine, also I ask how do you make? Or yeah, and also every year do small experiment, and sometimes experiment is success, but not sometimes not. And if I made mistake, never repeat. Yeah, just I continue, and to make my own recipe, you know.
So you mentioned that when you started the brand, you were making only Pinot Noir. Tell me about what you're making now. What as you've grown, what else are you making?
Yeah. I have the Pinot Noir, red wine, and rosé. And now I have the white Auxerrois is the variety. And 2013 was a very hard year. We had a lot of rain, and my plan was only to make the Pinot Noir red, but just spoilage was so bad. And I'm used to the lot in Germany, a lot of rain, and you know, and I knew, just use salt. You just use only the good one. That you can still make the good wine, but I couldn't throw away all of the, you know. And I took, we purchased a small tank and made a rosé, And after that, you know, we continued to make the rosé. And after a few years, we started to make the white because I love the white. But you know, here, if you choose the white variety, either Chardonnay or Pinot Gris, these two are pretty popular here, but both are not my taste. And what should I do? Yeah, of course, Riesling, but I think it is too hard for Riesling. And if I could find a good Riesling, of course, I want to make the Riesling, but not yet. And Auxerrois, the friend, the Jeff, he had one block Auxerrois, and he asked me, and just I took entire block, and Auxerrois is Alsatian variety, and to be honest, pretty neutral, boring variety. That's why the people there in Alsace, they use as a blend partner. But I don't want boring wine, you know. Try to make the with good character,
And you mentioned sparkling wine when we got here as well. Tell us about getting into sparkling.
I like the sparkling wine to drink myself, and after the taking baths, normally I drank the beer, but I don't know, somehow I'm switching to the sparkling wines since a few years, and I like sparkling wine, and also I love the Lambrusco, and I have always a Pinot, and maybe Pinot Noir with slight gas, like Lambrusco, will be great. This is my idea, and we started to try, the sparkling wine, and the sparkling wine is still potential, I think. Yeah.
So as you look ahead for your work here, what do you see coming next? What are you looking forward to as your brand grows?
My brand?
Oh, as your brand is growing, as your label is growing, what are you looking forward to?
We are slow, and and our production is still like 1,000 cases, maybe maximum, and we need to increase more, but not much. I want to check each barrel by myself. And also I want to work in the vineyard. That's why I don't want to just expand the production amount.
want to talk a little bit about 2020. I kind of skipped over the question about 2020. Tell us about first the pandemic hitting last March. Tell us about the effect it had on your work, if any, and what effect you saw it have on the industry around you.
My life itself was not big change because normally I work alone in the vineyard or at the cellar. Yeah, just I needed to wear the mask when I deliver the wine, that's it. But of course, our sales to the restaurant decreased to zero. Yeah, of course, yeah. But that's okay. I think we could survive, and I had more bad feeling about restaurant people. They're big damage. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but of course we needed to change a little bit our sales, and we concentrated more to the direct consumer or direct sales. And our big concern was how we organize the harvest, because we pick normally grapes by ourselves with friend or family. But how, and every year Chris, his parents comes from East Coast to help us, stay like 2 months here and offer the lunch to our friend. But of course they couldn't come, last year. And we started to prepare much earlier last year. Normally, I don't like the planning. I just doing like with feeling, but last year was exception. Yeah, we prepare earlier. For example, we asked the people, the friend who helped every year. Yeah, how would you like to help us, or what is the bathroom, how we should offer the lunch to you guys, or what is the scary things for you guys, or we asked and talked, and I think we could prepare good. For example, I thought maybe we can make the mask with our logo for everyone. For example. No, I asked a friend. No, she answered, no, I don't need a mask. If you make something, please make hand sanitizer, for example. Oh, this is good idea, cool. And then we made a small hand sanitizer to everyone. Then they could take with them. And also, we prepare the lunch bag, and everyone get each bag, no touch or not buffet style, but and also we didn't ask too many people, just the people that already helped us previous year or their friend, because everyone probably need to know who are you. But many people helped more than 2 times or 3 times. That was so helpful because stay home. Actually they needed go outside. And we are so lucky. So helpful there. And
Of course, as we talked a little bit before we started rolling, we talked about the other part of 2020, which is of course the smoke and the fires. So tell us about working with that and what you had to do to get grapes in last year.
Smoke was more impact than COVID actually for us. Actually we picked during the ash coming. Yeah, but people are already used to taking the mask. That was lucky, and yeah, we picked, and also our location. We had the 3 sites. They are located pretty far from the the smoke. But of course, yeah, we did what is that? The small minimum fermenting, or what do you call that? Took the grape before actual fermentation start and check the taste or smell. Yeah. And also we pressed before the fermentation completely finish. Yeah, and that was I don't know. I had the red wine here and still continue to try and how we manage. But we didn't give up. We picked all of the Pinot. Yeah, some people just gave up. I think it depends, where you are. Yeah. We picked all of them, but also we tried to make the sparkling wine, and it's good because we didn't have sparkling wine, and maybe for 2 years, maybe we slowly sell our sparkling wine. That was not bad. Yeah.
Good timing.
Yeah, good timing. I need more selection.
So you mentioned that in addition to the wine work, you're still working in vineyards. Tell me about that work. Where are you working, and what is kind of your role when it comes to working in vineyards?
Yeah, we unfortunately we don't own vineyard. This is grapes we just purchased, but we had agreement with the owner of the vineyard, and this is like lease. Yeah. Every year we take this block and we work, from pruning to harvest. And if the owner say yes, we have such agreement. And only the tractor work, for that the vineyard is responsible. Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, lot of work, but I like much better than working in the cellar, dark, wet, cold. I like working in the vineyard, and this is so important for me. Working in the vineyard, that make me more motivated. I cannot just take the grapes as ingredients. One time I did that, not one time, 2 times, or just somebody told me, "Oh, Akiko, I have the grapes left. Do you want 1 ton?" "Ah, yeah, of course, bring that." But my motivation was not so high. If I worked and grow the grapes, I'm more motivated and more, and and when you work in the vineyard, you notice some small difference. For example, this row always bring more, larger cluster. Okay, maybe I make rosé from this row, for example. But if you just buy, you cannot notice that. And also, not only the condition of the grapes, you can also notice the small microclimate difference, or also the small things in that vintage. And you can just react. And for that, I need to work there in the vineyard.
So as you look ahead, is that's something you want to keep doing then, as long as you can? You want to be able to farm your own grapes that are going to be coming into the winery. You want to keep doing it this way, where you're working in the vineyard. And the best way is to own our
vineyard because we don't own. Of course, yeah. Sometimes we need to fight against the, grape owner. And yeah.
So that's something you hope to do? You hope to own a vineyard sometime?
Yeah. Actually, I need to do soon. Otherwise, it's getting old. Yeah, and the age is so most important for the grapevine. Yeah.
So, from your perspective and what you've seen, what has changed in the Oregon wine industry since you've been here? What are the changes you've noticed?
The more small producer like us, more younger, and also the French. I think the both are pretty positive. I think this movement could change the industry. I think good influence. I think
When you look ahead for the industry, then what do you see? What will the industry look like in the coming years, especially coming out of the pandemic?
After the pandemic, this is so difficult question. I don't know.
Is there anything you're looking forward to in Oregon for the industry in general, or anything you're afraid of?
In the future, I think big or the most, Oh, okay. This is my English is so broken. Yeah, okay. Okay. In 10 years, we could easily find more older vines. 30 years, 40 years, maybe 50 years. This is the big, I think, for us. We can make more competitive, good wine in the international market. I really like the older wine, and only older wine bring, I don't say only, this is maybe somebody think, no, okay. Older wine brings, more depth and something, that's why, in 10 years, I could find, easily probably 30 years, 40 years, Pinot, that's good,
Someone were to ask you about joining the industry, what would your words of wisdom to them be? What would your advice be?
Advice to the...
Someone like,
okay.
Sure, joining the industry.
Okay, I think at first you need to enjoy, because maybe, from the outside, making wine looks so romantic and so cool, but this is just physical work. And if you cannot enjoy, I think you should do something else. It's hard. And also, if you have a lot of money, maybe you can easily take the, buy the land or build the own facility, but maybe not. You cannot do that. Then you need to enjoy. And also I think the taste is most important. I think you have experience, but you don't have good taste. You cannot make good wine. I think the both experience and taste. That means, you should try good things, not only the wine, and also the food, eating good things. This is my advice. And also, working at different places, maybe new world and old world. If you have the both, if you know the both, I think this is the big help. I think,
That's all the questions that I have for you today. I know you're so relieved.
I think I talked too much.
No, this is fantastic. Thank you. Is there anything we didn't talk about that we should have? Is there anything I didn't ask that I should have asked?
Actually, one thing, my project or my future project. I already told for our only for our winery. We need to have our own winery or the facility, but not only for us. I want to take or introduce the interesting wine to Japan, and I had good friends. They are interested in the Oregon wine, just because they are a good friend of me, and already the big names are there in the Japanese market, but not the small producer, and also small producer, but interesting wine, and also I think more reasonable price they offer, and such a wine somehow. I want to bring to them, and it's like create new market in Japan. This is what I want to do.
That's awesome. Do you have an idea for how you're going to do that, or is that just still kind of a dream at this point?
I started to collect interesting new wine. So many wine are coming, and always talk with wine shop. What is your favorite, or which producer is a good, or and maybe at first some not so one pallet or two pallet. Just several cases I ship, and maybe do some event. Oregon new producer wine tasting or something like that, and I go there, and of course after the pandemic, and then people could know, interesting, and maybe importer or the Oregon new small producer could find importer through the event. This is my idea. I
love it. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking your time today, for answering our questions and being part of our project. And we'll go ahead and let you off the hook.